Hi guys, it's Aoife from Words of Clover and I am thinking of starting a reading vlog for this week. So I haven't really been posting, well I've been posting on my channel, but it's been a little bit sporadic, like hasn't really been scheduled. I'm kind of doing a couple of videos kind of like last minute, and I don't know, I think my motivation at the moment in terms of doing like sit down videos and like planned videos just isn't really there right now, and I don't know why. I feel like maybe I'm in a little bit of like a YouTube, BookTube slump or something. I'm not really sure, but reading vlogs are handy. They're easy, they're enjoyable. I really like editing them. They're the type of video I really love to watch back as well for myself now and again, especially with the ones that involve like the dogs and stuff, which to be fair, most of them do. So yeah, I just thought I would do a reading vlog this week because I have another, so it's Wednesday today, and then on Saturday I'm going to Donegal until next Wednesday. So some of this will be in Donegal and some of this will be at home in Dublin. And yeah, it's always nice to kind of have a reading vlog in Donegal too, because it's just really nice scenery and stuff like that. Though I don't want to bore you guys with Donegal content either, because the last few vlogs I've done have also been in Donegal. A lot of the vlogs I've done this year have been in Donegal. So if you're bored of Donegal and beaches and mountains and countryside, let me know and I can stop them. But yeah, right now it's just a little bit easier for me. In terms of reading, I am halfway through Nightbitch by Yoder, I think is the author's name, and this is a really interesting book and I've heard loads of different things about it, and everything about it just really intrigued me. It's following kind of an overworked, tired, stressed mother of a toddler, and she had to give up her job to to look after her child. Her husband has a good job, is paid very well, but he is basically out of the house 4 days a week. Like he works long distance away from them, so during the week he's not even there to help with the child. He comes home on the weekend, and then he's gone again, so she never really gets much of a break, and she's just feeling really stressed, and she starts noticing like changes in her body, and after a while she's like, I think I'm turning into a dog. And this book is basically about her fears about becoming a dog and if it's actually happening to her. And I think we're kind of at a point where, like, is this something that has happened to her, or is it something in her head? Is she so stressed and overtired and just exhausted? Like, is it in her head, or is this actually happening? And then there's another group of like mothers, and it feels like maybe the same thing has happened to them. And I just love, I do really love how this whole story like comes about and how it's fit in, and how it's just this really amazing metaphor for mothers in general, but particularly mothers of young children, mothers who are stuck in the home, who have like, you know, their own ambitions. They love their children so much, but they also have those like real desires and ambitions to be something other than a mother and be something other than a person stuck at home, and how being stuck at home doesn't mean that they're not working, that they are working, but like it's a completely different form of work, in where you don't get a lot of gratitude from people, you don't get a lot of visibility, you're kind of almost invisible, and people think that you're like, you know, you're taking a lovely long holiday looking after your child, who really it's like the hardest job in the world. And yeah, you just don't really get seen enough for it. And I just really love how this is all being explored in this book through this woman literally turning into a dog. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far, so I'll see how much more I get done of that tonight, and I'm hopefully I will continue to really like it, because so far so good. And yeah, it's just a really interesting, unique, different type of book, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Hi guys, so it is currently Thursday afternoon and I'm just out for a walk with Rossi. She is down here, and yeah, I just thought I would do an update because I have finished Nightbitch by Yoder. I finished that this morning, and yeah, very interesting read. Kind of a strange one, and it doesn't have any like chapters or anything, so you almost feel like you're just reading the entire book in like one chunk. So yeah, I did enjoy it, but there were definitely some parts of it that I felt a little bit iffy about. I did really like the representation of this like animalistic nature coming out when you're like tired and stressed, and you know, you feel so like worn down to the bone almost, that like these weird things start happening, and like this animal nature, dog like nature comes out, like this like mother wolf almost type of persona came out of the character, and that was really interesting. And I just did really like how the author explored all of that. There was one particular scene where there was kind of animal cruelty and the death of a pet, and that one definitely made me, yeah, definitely did not like reading that because it was quite graphic and quite violent, and yeah, it definitely made me feel a bit iffy. I gave it 4 stars. It's really kind of like a 3.75, 3.75, and that is mostly because of that scene with the death of a pet that just, yeah, really kind of turned my stomach a bit. I did really like how it ended up. Like, this book is just really weird. It doesn't make that much sense, but you're either going to like get something out of it or you're not. It's just one of those weird ones that you just have to kind of try, and I'm glad I tried it, and he'll definitely stick in my memory for a while for sure. Definitely one of the weirder, more unique books that I've ever read. So yeah, so the next book I have lined up to read is called Sleet, Kitten by S.J. Tilley. It's just a self-published book that I got off Amazon, and I picked this up after listening or seeing the June wrap-up from Love Michaela Eve, and she had read a bunch of this author and this trilogy in particular, this like Sleet trilogy I think it's just called. And yeah, it's just, they're kind of like ice hockey themed romances, and yeah, I just kind of was reading that and I was like, I feel like I'm really in the mood for just like a romance book, kind of a steamy like romance book. I don't know how well it'll be written, I'm not sure if I'll like it, but yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see if I end up liking that. And then I'm also listening to my audiobook while I'm out walking and stuff, and that's Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. And that one is the second book in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder at the start of the year, absolutely loved it. It was like a 5 out of 5, well no, it was like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And I'm listening to the second one, which is a really great way to listen to it because this one has like a podcast element. So you're getting all those kind of mixed media formats done really well in the audiobook. So, and there's like a full cast and stuff. So it's definitely really enjoyable. And this one we are just seeing like teenage investigative reporter. Her name is Pip, and she has been asked to look into the disappearance of her friend's brother. He has gone missing for over a day, and the family know that like something might have happened to him, but the police aren't taking it seriously. So she's kind of using the things she learned from the first book. She's using those to aid her investigation into what happened to this boy and trying to figure that out. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that so far, and I'm going to keep on listening to it now. Hi guys, it is Saturday afternoon, and as you can see here I am just in the car with the dogs. That's Desi in the background. So we've just gotten Donegal now, and it is about 4 o'clock, just after 4 o'clock. So I haven't gotten that much reading done yesterday. I ended up going on a really long walk yesterday with Rossi straight after work, just to kind of get all her energy out before today, when she was obviously going to be in the car for like 4 hours. So I didn't get that much reading done yesterday, and then obviously today I've been driving, and Keen is in the car as well, so we'd be listening to music rather than one of my audiobooks or anything. So yeah, I'm just kind of, Keen's just gone in doing a little bit of shopping, so I have been trying to catch up with a little bit of reading while I wait in the car with the dogs. And I am currently about 30% of the way through Sleet, Kitten, and I am enjoying it. There's some parts of it that, especially at the start, like the romance starts very quickly. There are some things in it that would be like real kind of, if they happen in real life, you'd be really freaked out. Like, you know, like meeting his mom, like practically before you've started dating. Their first real date ends up being crashed again by his mother and his sister. And then also some of his teammates, because he's obviously, it's an ice hockey romance. And yeah, so there's some bits like that that are a little bit like, if they happen in real life, it would be real like awkward. And also he gives her the nickname Kitten really quickly, like almost like straight away, like within 5 minutes of the meeting, he nicknames her Kitten. And I found it a little bit like cringy, and he never actually uses her name, he only ever calls her Kitten. And I don't know, it kind of just like gives me the ick. I'm not sure, I'm not really mad about it. I do like nicknames in books like now and again, but I'm not mad about them being used like every single time. So yeah, but overall I am enjoying it. I don't think it's going to be like a 5-star reader. And then look at her in the background, she's so funny. She spent like the entire 4 hours just like looking out, not even lying down. She just doesn't want to miss anything that's happening. So yeah, we're also, I think some of Ciann's family are up in Donegal, so we actually have both of our families are from Donegal and not too far away from each other. So a lot of his family are up this weekend as well. So we're actually going to go out for dinner tonight with them, I think. So again, it'll probably be a late night. We'll probably be having like a few drinks, though I'll be driving, so it'll be kind of like non-alcoholic drinks. And yeah, so yeah, I'm not expecting to get much read today, to be honest. I was hoping I would have her finished by now, but I don't yet. So yeah, it'll probably be tomorrow. I'll have to do a big kind of catch up, maybe in the morning reading session, to try and catch up and finish this soon enough, so I can get on to some of my other reads, which are also library books that are due back soon. So I really need to read them, particularly one which is Vita, Notra, which is translated from Russian, I think, but this is actually overdue at the moment and I wasn't able to renew it, so I'm going to hopefully get it read this week, so then I can bring it back to the library as soon as I'm back in Dublin. So that is the plan for the next couple of days. And I'll keep you updated on all our goings on. Probably a lot of beach walks as per usual, so don't think we'll be going to the beach tonight because it's a little bit rainy and gross and I don't want the dogs to get too wet and cold before the evening sets in. So it'll probably be a beach walk tomorrow and just playing around the house tonight. Hey guys, so it is now Tuesday, late morning. I'm here enjoying the morning with the dogs, and yeah, so I've gotten a little bit of reading done and I wanted to update you. So I finished Sleet, Kitten the day before yesterday, and it was like a nice romance book. It wasn't anything spectacular, but yeah, there are parts of it that I enjoyed, there are parts of it that were a little bit cringy that I didn't like, but overall I enjoyed the series. It was just fun, it was simple, it was nice, it was just what I wanted in the moment that I was reading it. So I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I will be reading the next book because I think that will just be a fun thing to do over the next few weeks, is just read that trilogy then. So I have started reading a non-fiction book at the moment, and that is Cumann and the Irish Revolution. So Cumann were kind of like a women's group that were part of, they helped with the 1916 Rising and then onwards into the Irish Revolution and the Irish War of Independence and Civil War, and they had some ties with Sinn Féin and other Irish kind of political and military groups during this time period. And they're really interesting as they were obviously quite big at the time, and they were really important when it came to Irish history and the Irish Republic and the fight for the Irish Republic. So I've been reading that, and I'm going to read a little bit more of this today, and then I'll probably go on to another book at some point and probably kind of switch between them, just as I find with non-fiction like this, it's sometimes good to just read like a chapter or two and then put it down, read something else, and then go back to this and read another chapter, just kind of digest it slowly. So that is what I'm hoping to do now over the next day or two. We'll be going home tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I'll get this finished up here, but I'll definitely keep you guys updated in what we are doing. And yeah, we're just enjoying beach walks and clear skies when we have it. It's been very rainy, but it's been nice, and the dogs are loving life as always, and that's the main thing. back in Dublin, as you can see, and I'm here to do an update. It is Friday the 29th, and this is gone a little bit longer than I originally thought. I thought this was going to just be a week vlog, but I still haven't actually finished the last two books that I started reading while I was in Donegal. So I think I'll just continue this vlog until I finish these books, and then I can put it up. Things are just busy today, most of the week off, so yeah, just trying to get everything done before the long weekend now. And I haven't got everything finished that I wanted to get finished, so that is annoying. But listen, that is Tuesday morning Aoife's problem, not my problem, so that's great. We did just book a holiday though for October, so I'm very excited about that. So if anyone has been to Agadir in Morocco and has any tips or like recommendations, please leave them below, because that is where we're going and we're very excited. So I will give you a quick update. So I actually only have one chapter left of the Cumann, mBan and the Irish Revolution. This is only about 230 pages, and there's just quite a large appendix at the back, as you would predict with a kind of, you know, a non-fiction book. I have definitely been enjoying this one. It's been a fairly easy read for me. I've enjoyed just kind of learning a little bit more about this women's organisation that I feel like we don't learn too much. Like, it's definitely mentioned in history books, but I feel like just learning about the history and what exactly the women actually did during the revolution, during the rising, during the years kind of leading up to the Civil War as well, like all of that, I find it really, really interesting, and how some of the women were like linked or related to some of the men within the IRA at the time, and some like big kind of leaders at the time as well. So yeah, definitely kind of love like a few name drops that you would definitely know, like, you know, Countess Markovic, Kitty Kernan, all of those type of names that like you're like, oh yeah, like I know them. So yeah, definitely enjoying this, and I'll definitely be finishing this at the weekend. Only about I'm on page 180, and there's about 230 pages, as I said. So yeah, I'll definitely get another section of that read tonight, hopefully. And then I'm not sure if I did mention that I started reading Vita Notra when I was in Donegal. I don't think I did, but I am halfway through this one now. I'm picking, this has been on my TBR for a while, but I'm picking up it now because it is one of the, I think it might be the July, it's either the June pick or the July pick for the Founder Translation Book Club. I kind of fell off the group picks, the group reads for that readathon, as or the group for that book club, as I just couldn't get my hands on some of the books, where this one was in the library, so I was able to pick it up, though it is already like a week overdue, me having to give it back. So I do really want to finish it, and yeah, I would give these library books back. Some of these library books I've had for ages, because I keep renewing them, because I just keep putting them off reading them, because I'm like reading my own books instead of reading the library books, and it's just like a vicious cycle. So yeah, this one is really interesting. This is set in Russia. We don't really get like a time that it's set in, but it feels like maybe around the 90s. Like there's some, like maybe a little bit later, like it feels kind of retro, but it also, like, there's kind of a mention of cell phone, radio, boom boxes, things like that. So I'm like, oh, is it like maybe like 80s, 90s? I'm not really sure. And as I said, it's set in Russia, and we're following this girl called Sasha, who is like this kind of A plus student, and one year she's on holidays with her mom, and this man, she starts noticing this man around a lot, and he ends up kind of scaring her, and he gives her these tasks to do that she ends up completing. And when she completes all of these tasks, she gets a letter that she's been accepted into this particular like institute after school, so kind of like a college, and she doesn't really have any choice but to go to this college. Like, it's kind of like almost a little bit of intimidation tactics that she and a lot of other students at the school end up having to go to this school, because they're afraid that like their friends and family, something bad will happen to their friends and family if they disobey orders. So she goes to the school, and it's a really, really tough in terms of what she's learning, and it's never really clear what exactly they're learning. There's definitely kind of a magical element to this book, like a fantastical magical element to it, but it's really unclear of what actually they're learning. Are they learning magic, some kind of magic, or like mind control or illusion? It's not really clear. And even the things that she's learning that she's finding really difficult, and then when she's cracking how to like learn these things, like none of it makes sense. Like, so like I don't really know what the hell is going on when it comes to her education and what she's learning, but at this point, halfway through the book, I feel really invested in her journey and what is going to happen to her, and yeah, I'm really excited to kind of keep reading and see what happens. I do know this is a series. Obviously it is originally written in Russian. The second book actually isn't out in translation until next year, so I'm kind of glad I'm reading this now, and then next year when the next book comes out in translation, I can pick it up and read it and hopefully not forget too much of this book in the meantime. I'm definitely enjoying this. I'm glad I finally picked this up because I've seen it kind of around a lot and I've always kind of wondered what exactly it was about. For some reason I always thought this had something to do with ballet. I think it's something to do with the cover. I don't know why, but I always thought there was like a ballet element to this book, and there's not. I'm really excited to kind of continue on with this and finish this weekend as well, so I will keep you updated on what I think about that. Hi guys, so it is now Monday, bank holiday, the 1st of August, so I am finishing this vlog in the absolute nick of time. As you guys can probably tell, there's definitely like a BookTube slump going on because I literally just noticed that looking at my, I need to check my channel to see actually which was the last book I read in June, so I could count the July books that I'd read. And looking at my channel, I've literally only put up one video this month. I put up one video in the whole of July, which I don't know the last time like that happened. It's been a couple of years since I've like been that inactive on YouTube, so yeah, there's definitely something going on with my brain that I'm just like very BookTube slumpy or something. I'm not sure. Hopefully I can just kick myself back into geeker. And yeah, if anyone has any like ideas or suggestions or even anything you would like to see on my channel, let me know and hopefully it will just get my inspiration back in check. But I wanted to do a update because I have finished the books I said I wanted to finish for this vlog, and there's another one over here which I will get. So I was just filming my TikTok. As I said, I've just been finding TikTok because I'm feeling kind of slumpy. I've definitely been finding TikTok that little bit easier because I can literally just do it in a few minutes, and yeah, it doesn't take a lot of editing or anything. It's just so easy to do. So yeah, that is the case for this. But I finished the 2 books I wanted to talk to you about. So first of all, last night I finished Vita, Notra by Marina and Sergey Dyachenko, which is the fantasy book I was saying that's been translated from Russian. I can't say much about this book, to be honest, because as I think I explained, I don't really know what was going on in it. It's very confusing, but there's something about the story, about the writing, about the character that you're following and her journey and her character progression and kind of like the growth you're seeing in her character and the transformations that are happening to her within this book because of what she is studying and what she is doing and what she is achieving. It's so engrossing and so intense, you can't really stop reading, and because of that I did really enjoy this book. But because I can't really explain what is going on because it's so confusing and the whole book as a whole is very confusing and very hazy about what is actually going on, I have to give it a 3 stars. I'm giving it a 3 stars, but that is with the caveat that I have a feeling that this book might be bumped up to a 4 star by me, but I want to see how it holds up like over the next few days or couple of weeks. I want to see if I keep thinking about it. I want to see how it just rests with me in my mind. I have a feeling that it will probably go up to a 4 star. I don't think it's deserving of like a moderate 3 star because I think there's like a lot of really good writing going on in this book and really good kind of, not so much world building, but there's a magic system that's being thought about a lot about what is going on in this book, but it's just very hard. I do wonder how much of it, like I do think like the translation, like I don't know if the translation is good. I presume it is good. I haven't heard anything bad about the translation when it comes to this book. I have a feeling it must have been a very hard book to translate, and because of that as well I wonder how much maybe has been lost in translation around the magic and what actually the authors are meaning by the magic and how they want that magic to work. Because yeah, we kind of get an idea of what it is, but like it's not really something that can be understood or explained very well. But yeah, I do wonder if there has been some of it that's been lost in translation. But yeah, I definitely am intrigued to find out what happens in the next book. So I'll be really looking forward to the translation of that coming out next year. And yeah, I'm glad I read it, and I think it's a really unusual type of book to have read, and I'm glad I gave it a chance. And as I said, I do think this is a book that might grow on me and will end up be bumped up a star afterwards. So yeah. And then this morning, so I finished it this morning, 1st of August, but I read most of it in July, so I'm counting it as my July reads. But that was Cumann and the Irish Revolution, and this is written by McCarthy. So this is just a non-fiction look at the Cumann, which is the women's Republican organisation who kind of were like they helped out with the IRA and the Republican fighters during the 1916 Easter Rising, the War of Independence, and then they were also involved in the Civil War because a lot of the Cumann would have been anti-treaty and would have been against the Free State then, and then they would have also have had a split where some members left Cumann and became Cumann Saoirse. Yeah, really interesting to just see like a look at maybe like some of women, like it's obviously looking like there was a lot of women, there were a lot more women involved with like the Civil War and with the Irish fight for independence, but it was interesting to look at it through the gaze of Cumann and how they were set up, some of their main roles, how, you know, being women, some of their roles were such as like, you know, like setting up field hospitals and safe spaces and carrying messages, but again a lot of like the things that they were doing were still like you had to be really brave to do it, and you know they were so passionate in their fight for Irish freedom, and I just really respected that throughout the book. Definitely, you know, when you're like reading books like this and you're thinking about if you had lived during that time, I would like to think that I would have been a member of Cumann for definite. So yeah, I really enjoyed reading that and seeing all the different things that they did. One of the things I found really interesting about this book as well is that it was kind of made, like there was a point made by the author that a lot of the women that were very active in Cumann would have been young single Irish women, and that's because obviously at the time, you know, the 1920s, like earlier and even earlier, once a woman, you know, got married and she started having children, obviously like she wouldn't have had the time, I guess, and like the freedom to be running around like sharing messages, helping out injured men. You know, she would have like been more stuck to the home with children and stuff like that, and being a homemaker. So yeah, it was interesting to see how like young, like it was a real group full of young Irish women with a real ideal, like this Irish ideal in their head of like what the ideal Ireland would be. So yeah, I really enjoyed reading that. Yeah, I did enjoy, like the writing was probably slower than I wanted this week, but I still did enjoy them. And yeah, onwards and upwards. I think it's the summer mixtape-a-thon now, which is starting today. Yeah, that is it for this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it, even though it was probably, yeah, I don't know if the energy was there for the whole thing, but yeah, that's that. And thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.